If you're new here, welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep sharing stories that deserve to be heard. The Christmas tree lights sparkled in my parents' living room while my sister Olivia held court showing off her Employee of the Month plaque from Riverside Insurance. Mom was taking photos. Dad was already framing it in his mind for the Mantle Regional Sales Leader. Dad announced to the assembled aunts and uncles that's real success. Stable career benefits company. Car. Everyone clapped. Olivia beamed, her blonde hair perfect, her blazer pressed 27 years old and living the corporate dream my parents had always wanted for both their daughters. And what are you doing these days, Jack? Aunt Freya asked, turning to me with polite curiosity. Before I could answer, Mom jumped in. Jack still doing her tech thing. Working from home, very flexible. The dismissal was subtle but clear. Flexible meant unemployed in their language. I was 41. I'd founded Quantum Analytics 4 years ago, a data intelligence platform that helped Fortune 551 companies optimize their supply chains using AI-driven predictive modeling. Last year's revenue, $95 million. This year's projection, $99 and $55 million. We had offices in San Francisco, Austin and Singapore with 99 and 28 employees. But to my family, I did tech stuff from home, still single too. Uncle George added helpfully. Must be hard to meet people when you work from home. Olivia smiled sympathetically. Jack's always been independent, marching to her own drum. Translation. Odd, unmarried and professionally unclear. Olivia's engaged, Mom said. Steering back to safer territory. Derek proposed last month. He's a financial analyst. They're looking at houses in the suburbs. More photos, more praise. Derek appeared from the kitchen shaking hands, accepting congratulations. He worked at a mid-sized investment firm, pulling in maybe $99,000 and $20,000 a year. Respectable. Everything my parents valued. I checked my phone discreetly. The Forbes team had sent the final confirmation an hour ago. The embargo lifted at 8 p.m. Eastern in exactly 54 minutes. Their holiday special issue featured 40 under 45 tech leaders reshaping American industry. I was number 3 on the list with a full 2-page spread and cover mention. The story detailed Quantum Analytics' meteoric rise, our $200 million Series C funding round last quarter, and my personal net worth of approximately $398 and $78 million. The journalist had called it the most impressive bootstrap success story in enterprise software and Salesforce. But here I was, still the daughter who did tech stuff. Jack, honey, Mom said, finally acknowledging my presence. Would you help me in the kitchen? We need to start the appetizers. F8. Olivia got praise in the living room. I got kitchen duty in the kitchen. Mom handed me a cheese platter to arrange. Sweetie, it's not too late to think about a real career. Olivia's company is always hiring, maybe something in their IT department. You're good with computers. A department. I ran a company that processed 57 billion data points daily for clients including Walmart, Amazon and General Motors, but sure, IT support sounded great. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Mom, are you, though she lowered her voice, you're 41. No husband, no stable job. When are you going to settle down? Look at Olivia, engaged, promoted. Building a real life. My company had been valued at $1.2 billion in our last funding round, but apparently that wasn't real. I'm doing fine. Fine isn't enough. She arranged crackers with sharp, precise movements. Your father and I worry this tech bubble could burst any time then. What, you'll have nothing? The tech bubble that had created 7 of the 10 largest companies in the world. That bubble. Dad poked his head into the kitchen. Jack, while you're here, our router's been acting up. Think you could take a look after dinner? You're the tech person. Tech person, no, not founder. Tech person who fixed routers, sure, Dad. Back in the living room, Olivia was showing Derek's parents her Employee of the Month certificate. It's my 3rd one this year, the regional VP said. I'm on track for district manager. That's wonderful. Derek's mother gushed, a career path, stability. That's what matters. I sat on the couch's edge, checking my phone again. 41 minutes until the embargo lifted. Forbes had coordinated the release across all platforms, websites, social media, and their special segment on CNN Business Tonight, which aired at 8 p.m. CNN Business Tonight, which my parents always watched, which was currently queued up on their TV. Waiting for the Christmas special to end. "Jack, you're on your phone again," Olivia said with sisterly concern. "It's Christmas Eve. Can't work." "Wait, just checking something. See, this is what I mean," Mom said to Aunt Freya. "No work-life balance with these startup things." Olivia leaves work at work. "That's professionalism." Uncle George leaned back with his beer. "I read that most startups fail within 5 years, something like 90%. Jack, you got a backup plan?" "I'm good, thanks, just saying at some point you need security. Look at me, 40 years at the post office, full pension waiting. That's how you build a life." Dad nodded approvingly. "George is right. These tech jails are fine when you're young, but eventually you need something solid." Olivia understands that. Olivia smiled modestly. "I just think traditional careers have proven themselves. There's a reason Fortune 551 companies are still around, you know. Fortune 551 companies, 12 of which were my clients. But nobody asked." The conversation drifted to Olivia's wedding plans. Spring ceremony, 200 guest destination bachelorette party. Mom was crying. Happy tears. Dad was talking about walking her down the aisle. Derek's parents were discussing their contribution to the venue costs. I excused myself to the bathroom and checked my email. The Forbes PR team had sent the final preview, my photo on the cover corner. The headline, "How Jack Mitchell Built a Billion-Dollar Data Empire Before Age 42. The article quoted our CFO, 3 major clients, and a Harvard Business School professor who'd written a case study about our growth strategy. My phone buzzed, a text from my lead investor. "Congrats on the Forbes cover. Segment looks great. Get ready for your phone to explode." I splashed water on my face and returned to the living room. 20 minutes now. "Jack." Dad called from his recliner. "Come look at this photo of Olivia from the company holiday party. Doesn't she look professional?" I walked over. Olivia in a blazer, shaking hands with her regional VP, both smiling at the camera. It was nice. Exactly what my parents understood. "Very nice," I said genuinely. "This is what success looks like." Dad said. "Not to me, but to the room. Hard work, dedication, climbing the ladder, not these crazy tech pipe dreams." The crazy tech pipe dream that employed 99 and 28 people with full benefits, stock options, and unlimited PTO. But who's counting, Dad? "Maybe Jack's doing Oka," Olivia said. And I almost appreciated the defense until she continued. "I mean, some people are just happier with less structure. Not everyone wants the corporate track. Less structure." I had 7 direct reports, quarterly board meetings, and investor presentations that determined $99 million decisions. But sure, less structure. 8 o'clock approached. Mom was bringing out dessert. The Christmas special was ending on CNN. "Oh, Business Tonight is coming on." Aunt Freya noted the holiday edition should be interesting. The family settled in, plates balanced on laps, attention turning to the TV. The CNN anchor appeared polished and professional. "Good evening tonight, a special holiday edition focusing on the year's biggest business success stories we're particularly excited to discuss. Forbes just released 40 under 45 list highlighting the young entrepreneurs reshaping American industry." My heart rate picked up. Our top story. Jack Mitchell, founder and CEO of Quantum Analytics, who's revolutionizing how Fortune 551 companies use artificial intelligence for supply chain optimization. My face filled the screen. Professional photo from last month's Incorporated magazine. Shoot, the room went completely silent. Mitchell founded Quantum Analytics just 4 years ago, and the company has already reached a $1.2 billion valuation. Her clients include Walmart, Amazon, General Motors, and over 55 other Fortune 551 companies. Dad's beer stopped halfway to his mouth. The segment cut to an interview with me, filmed 2 weeks ago in our San Francisco headquarters. On screen, I stood in front of floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the bay, our company logo prominent behind me. We saw a gap in how companies were using data. Interview. Jack explained. Traditional analytics were reactive. We built a platform that's predictive, using machine learning to identify supply chain disruptions before they happen. The reporter's voice continued. Mitchell's innovation has saved her clients an estimated $4.5 billion in potential losses. At 41, she's one of the youngest self-made female executives in tech, with a personal net worth exceeding $398 and $78 million. Mom made a strangled sound. The segment showed our offices sleek modern, filled with engineers at standing desks and walls covered with data visualizations. Then footage of me speaking at a tech conference presenting to a room of thousands. Mitchell graduated from MIT with degrees in computer science and economics. The reporter continued. She worked at Google for 2 years before striking out on her own, initially funding the company with $55,000 in savings and building the first product in her San Francisco apartment, the apartment they told me to leave because I needed a real job. The segment featured testimonials. The CTO of Walmart, Jack's platform transformed how we manage inventory. She's brilliant, visionary, and frankly, she's making the rest of us look outdated. The CEO of a major logistics company, Quantum Analytics, is the gold standard. Every supply chain executive ITO either uses their platform or wishes they could afford it. A Harvard Business School professor, Mitchell's approach to AI-driven logistics is being taught in business schools worldwide. She's created an entirely new category of enterprise software. The segment returned to my interview. Success isn't about following a traditional path, I said on screen. It's about identifying real problems and building solutions that create value. Sometimes that means working from an apartment at 4 a.m. or taking calls from Singapore, while your family wonders when you'll get a real job. I smiled slightly on screen, but if you believe in what you're building and you're solving genuine problems for real clients, the path becomes clear even if nobody else sees it yet. The reporter concluded, Mitchell's advice to young entrepreneurs is simple: trust your vision, even when others don't. With Quantum Analytics projected to exceed $200 million in revenue next year and expansion into European and Asian markets, it seems her vision is paying off. Jack Mitchell, 3 on Forbes 40 under 45 list. The segment ended. A commercial break began. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. 15 people frozen in a living room, dessert plates forgotten, staring at a TV that was now advertising car insurance. Dad's face had gone from ruddy to pale. Mom's mouth was actually hanging open. Olivia looked like she'd been slapped. Uncle George broke the silence. Did that just say $398 and $78 million personal net worth? Aunt Freya whispered, that's what the reporter said. Derek's father turned to me slowly. You're the Jack Mitchell from Quantum Analytics. Yes, the company that handles Amazon's predictive logistics, among others. Yes. Olivia found her voice, but you work from home. You're always on your laptop. We thought I was unemployed. I finished gently, or doing freelance work, something small. Why didn't you tell us? Mom's voice cracked. I tried multiple times. I kept my tone even, not angry, just factual. 2 years ago I mentioned landing Walmart as a client. Dad said that's nice, honey, and asked if I'd fixed his router. Yet last Christmas I tried to explain our Series B funding. Mom interrupted to ask when I get a job with health insurance. The memories hung in the air, undeniable. Now 6 months ago I invited everyone to our office opening in Austin. I continued. Olivia said she was busy with a work training. It was a Saturday. The office opening made TechCrunch in the Wall Street Journal. Dad set down his beer with a shaking hand. Jack, we had no idea. You had every opportunity to know. You chose not to ask questions. You decided what my life was and you never looked deeper. Olivia's voice was small. We thought you were struggling. I know. Because struggling was easier for you to accept than the possibility that I'd succeeded on a path you didn't understand. I looked at each of them. I didn't need you to understand the technology. I just needed you to respect that. I knew what I was doing, but you never said anything about money. Or Mom started, because it's not about money. I said it's about what I built, the problem I solved, the company I created. I pointed at the TV. 99 and 28 people have jobs because of Quantum Analytics. 54 Fortune 551 companies use our platform. That's what matters, not my bank account. Uncle George cleared his throat. So when you said you were checking your phone earlier, I was checking. When the Forbes article went live, I knew it would air tonight. I didn't tell anyone because I paused. I wanted to see if you'd finally listen. The room went quiet. Derek's mom spoke softly. Jack, we're impressed. Maybe we made assumptions. You did, I said, because I didn't fit your idea of success. Olivia has a corporate job, a fiancé, a house. You understood her path. You celebrated her. But you treated my work like a hobby. Olivia started crying. Jack, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You didn't ask. I sighed. Olivia. I'm not mad. You did what made sense for you, but you all assumed that because I chose differently. I was wrong. Dad stood up, sweetheart. We're proud of you. We always have been. No. I said you're proud now that CNN told you to be, that Forbes said I mattered, that Harvard professor study my company. I picked up my coat. You weren't proud when I was working 100-hour weeks in that small apartment. When investors said a woman couldn't run a tech company, Mom looked worried. Where are you going? Back to my hotel. I fly to Singapore tomorrow for a client meeting. I stopped at the door. I came because it's Christmas. But tonight you praised Olivia's award and ignored my life's work. Jack, please. Olivia said. Olivia, I'm happy for you, but my success doesn't take away from yours. You just never believed there was room for mine. I opened the door, cold air rushed in. Merry Christmas, I said, and left. My phone buzzed before I reached my car. Investors, clients, reporters. The Forbes piece was trending, but the call I answered was from Maria, my lead engineer boss. We're watching CNN at the office. You were amazing. I smiled. Thanks. How's the party? Perfect. We hit 99% uptime for core. The Walmart team sent champagne. That's my team. I said. Jack, we're proud to work for you. What you built matters. My throat tightened. I know, thanks. Maria. That was the truth. My team knew. My clients knew, the industry knew, and that was enough. 3 days later in Singapore, closing a $55 million deal. Mom called, then Dad, then Olivia. I ignored the calls until I landed back home. Then I listened. Mom, please call us. We're so sorry we didn't understand. Dad. I've been reading about your company. I'm amazed. Please come home. Olivia, you were right. I'm sorry, please don't shut us out. I didn't answer right away. I finished my meetings, flew to Tokyo, then Austin 2 weeks later. I texted the family group chat. I appreciate the apologies. I need sometime. I'll reach out when I'm ready. Olivia replied. Take all the time you need. We love you, Mom. We're here whenever you're ready. Dad's so proud of you. Jack, I put down my phone and looked out at the bay. My assistant knocked. Forbes is here for the interview. Harvard confirmed you for the March keynote, and your Amazon meeting is ready. I took a deep breath. This was my life. My work built not because my family believed in me, but because I believed in myself. Maybe someday I'd rebuild those bridges, maybe not. Either way. I had companies to lead, people to inspire, and an industry to change. Family pride. I didn't need it anymore. I'd built an empire without it. Send them in. I said, let's get to. Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel by activating the bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. See you tomorrow. My loves.